You're listening to a DM podcast.
Welcome to Over the Back Fence. I'm Di Edwards.
I'm Nicol, and we're buddies of nearly 4 decades. And yes, we actually do happen to share a back fence.
We do. We love parties, people, inspirational stories, and honestly, making the most out of life.
So join us as we open our hearts, share our stories, and hear from some of the most inspirational people in the world. And have a laugh along the way.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Hey everyone, this is Sam, the producer here at Over the Back Fence. I'm jumping on to let you know that this episode includes an exclusive giveaway, so please stay tuned until the end so that you get all the details for how to enter this brilliant competition. You've got the chance to win a place in the Jumpstart Your Fierce Hearts coaching program. So as I said, all the details will be in the episode. They're also in our show notes, and we need you to get your entries in by 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time on the 13th of November. So if you're listening to this episode as soon as it comes out, you've got about a week to get those entries in. So as I said, stay tuned, and I really wish you good luck with this competition.
Hey, Nicol.
Hey, Diney, have you been?
Fabulous. And you?
Great, good. I'm always loving it when I'm in my happy place here in the studio. Lots to talk about, and with dating apps and.
We were just talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were just talking about it a couple of days ago about. I was reading an article about some university professor who'd done a study into dating apps and how people are pulling away from it now. And you and I were discussing, interesting guys, what you think about it too, about dinner dates.
Dinner dates, because
Yeah.
they're saying now trends, I really get it, trends are changing now from the dating ones there, or else they're going to when you're going overseas. And I've got to say, I've done that on the app back in the day too, when I was flying with the airlines. I could go on dates in San Francisco, and there's some really good ones. But that seems to be on trend more so than I think people now are a little done and dusted a bit. So the old-fashioned way, it used to be back from RSVP days, and before that there was dinner for 6.
Yes.
And all of a sudden it got my mind thinking of who was the queen of dinner for 6 and who was our 100-day
I
queen?
wonder who that was. Let me just think for a minute. We just happened to have in the studio with us today.
We have
Leanne
Nicol.
Now, Leanne, you guys, if you've been following us all the way through, Leanne was like, what'd you say, our third guest
So
on?
she was actually episode 5,
Episode
season 1.
5.
So tune in.
100 First Dates.
Super popular.
Fascinating stories Leanne shared with us. But we've decided to get Leanne back because something happened when she left the Over the Back Fence studio last year.
See, magic happens in this back fence, so it's sort of all synchronicity. So let me just refresh everyone who hasn't met Leanne before, who I've got to say was one of our most popular guests that we've had. So to have her
huge
back
response.
again, she's in demand. She's the former school principal, storyteller, mother of 3, and now founder of Fierce Hearts, which is a coaching and training and development program with the aim of serving others to be the very best version of yourself.
That's coaching.
Wowza. And also tune in, stay listening, guys, because all the back fences, there's an exclusive giveaway to us, which we're thrilled about. And Leanne's going to tell us more about that, but it's a prize which Leanne is going to be giving away. So we've got so much to hear and so much to tell. So let's all welcome Leanne Nicol.
Hey, Leanne. Welcome,
back
darling.
Hello, girls.
That was a big intro.
Yes. I'd forgotten that when I walked away last year, that all of the great energy that was sitting in this little studio just all collided for me to step into the next chapter of my life, and I'm very excited about that. I'd completely forgotten.
Which is good. So Leanne was the 100-day queen, and that's sort of with the podcast they're talking about that. Now, from being in the studio here, we're all about connection, we're all about community. Can you share, and even Sam might want to get on the mic as well, and just tell a little...
Sam's our producer, guys,
Yes,
and Sam
who's
met Leanne last year.
Who's a life coach.
Sam's actually a life coach, and serendipitous moment that you were just describing. Everything in life is timing. You were here, we interviewed you, you met the producer. Bingo, what happened?
So Sam and I both connected afterwards. In fact, at the end, I remember Sam saying, "Oh, Leanne, I want to talk to you about something."
Wow.
And so we organised to meet. And look, another piece of synchronicity. We live one suburb away from each other. So
Yeah.
I think we met for about
back
3
fences.
hours. Yeah, back
Yeah.
fences. That's true. And as we were talking, I was just asking Sam about her background. And I'd been tossing around. I'd been looking to get a formal qualification in coaching, but I sort of hadn't stumbled upon the right thing. But I knew that was something that I wanted to lean into. I've done a lot of coaching. I've done probably over 1,000 hours of coaching, but I wanted a qualification because I'm an academic background. So, that was important to me. And then Sam shared her story.
Yeah, it was so funny because I was at the time interested in developing a schools program, which was why I said to Leanne, hey, I want to talk to you because I was doing youth mentoring work.
That's
It's all
amazing.
energy.
And yeah, we went for a coffee and I don't know how long I thought it would be, 45-minute coffee. And I feel like we were there for 3 or 4 hours. You're like, poor Leanne had to pay for parking.
Better than a ticket.
It was worth every
Yes.
cent.
Yeah, it was
Investment.
great. Yeah, and it led to just talking about coaching and how passionate we both were about people living their best lives. And
And just a quick little background too, Sam.
Amazing.
Just tell our listeners who don't know what you do what's your proper job as well as producing
yeah,
us.
I mean, I've been coaching now. I got certified in 2014, so a decade of this work. And everything that I do is really about helping people improve the relationships they have with themselves so that they can physically, mentally and emotionally thrive.
And
so,
you can tune into Sam's
says it
episode as
all.
well. We've got
Wow.
Sam exclusively on last season as well. So on
Fabulous,
self-love.
Sam. So,
Yeah, thank you.
So
Wow.
there's the intro. Now we want to hear all about.
Yeah. So after,
Yes,
just
yes.
very quickly
Yes,
to give
yeah.
you the very quick version, I actually had asked Sam where her qualification came from. She told me. I went home. I looked up the website. It was a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
I made a request. I spoke to somebody at 9:00 on that day, and I signed up at 9:30. And therein lies about an 18-month journey.
Let's find out about Fizz Hearts.
Okay, so Fizz Hearts. I've always had an
Yeah.
affiliation with hearts. I've got a lot of heart jewellery. And,
Wow.
And like it's all, that's just been part of, I have hearts around the house. It's just so when I was looking for a business name, hearts lent into it. And I really wanted something that was really very much holistic and heart-centred. So I had the hearts part, and then I thought, I want both the strength and gentleness. I want the fierceness, not meaning ferocious,
No.
but meaning that there's great courage and great strength, and that like a mother's love can be so fierce and protective and powerful and empowering, but then that other heart sense that is about that soft and that gentility and that openness of spirit and heart space for others. And it's not one or the other, it's both and.
And just for
Yeah.
backgrounds too,
Yeah.
with Leanne, when you think she's had like 30 years as a principal in the education department, so on top of this, it's like another feather in your cap. Like you've got a life experience of
And
which,
thank you.
which goes behind
absolutely.
it.
And that's all about
so that's-
compassion too and strength.
It's
That's
totally
the life
that's what-
experience, which is massive.
And it's what, even if I go back to when I was first teaching and I had little Year 1 children, I'm going to say I wasn't very good at teaching that class to read or certain children. However, I was very good at looking into those little faces and knowing that there was somebody very precious inside there. And as a
beautiful.
human being, and that it was my job to fan that flame and to provide that opportunity for that little fierce heart to shine their own light. And that hasn't changed. As a principal, that was my job, to do that with my staff. And now I work with principals. That's my job to be able to do with principals. And I guess if I think about how that impacts my family and my friends, when I come across anybody, that's what I want to do. And to me, the most beautiful thing is when I can look into somebody's face and I can see them speaking from their fierce heart, and it glows out of every pore of their skin, and their whole energy shifts. Imagine what the world would be like if every person embodied that wonderful energy and enacted that and it acted from that. I think the world would be a beautiful place.
I agree.
Here, here.
World
And
peace.
Do what you love what you do. And it sounds like you've found another passion in your life. And I think for all our
Totally.
listeners, it's a great thing at any stage of your life. And Leanne's a great example. So with Fierce Hearts, I've got to say, I can jump in and say I've done a couple of your sessions. So from first-hand experience, I just want to let our listeners know. And I was super impressed. But just tell a little bit more about, say, what it stands for, like, with the different pillars there, like with the ACT, balance,
So at Fierce Hearts, our general approach is a 3-part framework, which is create, act, become. So the create part of the program is all about, first of all, creating in your mind. All things are created twice, once in the mind and once in reality. So first of all, creating a dream, a vision. What is it that you want? Like, it doesn't even have to be big. It can be quite small, or it can be massive. So to create it and get very, very clear on what it's about. And when I'm talking about that, I'm meaning, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? And we'll probably talk about manifestation as we go on, because it is part of my giveaway. But it's more than manifesting. Manifesting is, okay, well, I've got a dream, but actually manifesting that now in the present and what that is like in your body. And when you manifest that when it's in your body, it moves more to like an incantation, and it changes the energy fields in your body. And that might sound a bit woohoo for people. But
Not anymore.
But
all
it
acceptable.
shifts.
Dr. Joe Dispenza is
Yeah,
an example,
I was going to say there's science behind
Yes,
it.
there
It
is.
Absolutely,
shifts,
100%.
It shifts our
Exactly.
brain waves.
Yeah.
It shifts our heart and the electromagnetic fields around that. And we know that when our energy shifts, and there's different energies, like attracts like. And that's just speaking from a science point of view. So when you create that emotion that is attached to what you want, and you create that emotion in the present, you are going to attract that towards you. So things will happen. If you are sort of saying, oh yeah, maybe that might happen, or this is my goal and I'm just going to write it down and not look at it, if you're not thinking it and embodying it every time you go out and in every conversation you have, you're not going to be shifting those rhythms. So a lot of work these days, particularly in coaching, well, maybe not so much in coaching, but a lot of the personal development work is really about going, oh my God, this terrible thing happened to me, and reliving that emotion. That is, it could be a terrible thing. We all have had probably
Trauma of
Traumas
some
and-
sort.
yes.
and varying degrees. But when that emotion is in your body and you are reliving that emotion in the present, let's assume that that's gone, whatever it is, whether it's been divorce, separation, accidents, when you are reliving that emotion every single day, that's the energy you're putting
So what's
out.
the secret to regulating one's emotions?
Is change
Here's
your
the
thoughts.
old throw the bomb.
Yes,
Change,
yeah.
But
change
seriously,
your
because
thoughts.
I
Yeah.
think there's
Change
gotta-
what you think about it.
Okay.
And
Give
that's
us
a
some
lot of-
example. Give us some tips,
Okay.
please.
Interesting.
Desperate. For the
I'm
whole
going to
human
use my
race.
experience this morning when I was at my hairdresser.
Yeah.
Your hair's looking pretty
Yeah.
damn good.
Thank you. We were talking because I go at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Like she's about to go on a date, but
I
she's
was.
taken though.
I was going on a date with you two.
Yes, yeah. Right.
And so we were talking while waiting for things to happen on my hair. We were just talking, and she was telling me that she has very negative thoughts about herself and her body image, actually. She's this gorgeous girl.
Imagine looking at a mirror all day being a hairdresser and having that. How difficult that would be.
Yeah.
And she's
and
not
it's-
alone, is she? Because a lot of people are
No.
like that.
I
And
don't
this-
work in front of a mirror all day because if I had that issue, that would be so difficult.
Yeah, so she hasn't even told her partner, who she adores, and she's been with her partner for many, many years, who's clearly seen her body. So she was talking to me about that, and I said to her, do you want me to do a quick little process? I said, she said, I need to do your hair in 5 minutes. I said, I can do a quick process. Now, not a miracle cure, but something that just...
Hit us with it.
Yeah, well, it's called rotations.
Rotation.
And literally what I got her to do was just think about physically all those feelings in her body, and and I said, how does it feel? She said, out of 10, like, is it 1 or 10? She said it's a 9. It felt terrible.
Yes.
And she had showed me in her body where that she was experiencing that, and then I got her to pull it all out and like physically imagine pulling it out, stick it in front of her, and this is going to sound very crazy, but it's just called rotations. Put it in front of her, and then she spun it around. I got her to spin it in the opposite direction that it was spinning. As it was spinning, I said, do you notice it changing? She said, yes. It's changing colour. It was black. She told me it was black and she described it. So she then told me it had changed colour, it had changed shape, and she started laughing. And I said, great. I said, grab it and shove that back in your body. Shove that back where you was in the pit of her stomach. And she did that and she started laughing. And I said, okay, tell me now, from 1 to 10, how do you feel about that body image? She said, I feel like it's gone down. It's about a 3.
Wow.
Now, is that forever? Probably not, because like if life was that simple, we'd all be doing it. However, that's just like one tiny technique.
Yeah, it's an example.
But it's a positive thing, isn't it?
It's
that
a very
it's a
positive-
mind
Have you heard of
shift,
that,
isn't
Sam?
it? Yeah,
No.
it's
Rotation?
it's a great mind shift.
It's
So
newbie.
it's around neuro-linguistic programming. It's around even just for her being open to being in a calm state. So whenever she thought about a body, of course, her anxiety would go up.
So it's reconnecting to the body, the thought process,
Well, it's
having the
connecting-
awareness.
Yeah,
and-
so what she did was change her perception about it.
Yeah.
And then so now, and I said, when you look in the mirror and you see that thought coming, first of all, I want you to say,
Wow.
stop it.
Yes.
To yourself.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
Stop
that's a
it.
good
Yeah.
thing.
And then imagine it's that blue funny thing. And it's, even as I said it, she started laughing. So it's like, well, that's a silly thought. I mean, like really we can say that's silly. And I said, and replace it with something else. So that's a really simple way
We
of
all
just
need
But
tools
using
using
every
a
the
good
body.
day.
example, and I
Yeah.
think it's a great thing.
You're looking good
You're
today,
doing.
Nicol.
Oh, thank you.
Looking
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
You're looking a bit gorgeous today, Daz.
Thank you. I'll accept that.
I don't know how busy she's been
I'm
today.
100
She hasn't
first dates
stopped.
queen. I've had a few things on this morning, but that's good. I think it's kind of fun to be busy. I'm just wanting to know, and for the listeners to explain a bit more, because I love the thing of what you're saying with the act, and then it's like become.
Yeah, so
and then
create.
create.
Yeah.
And then you're
Now,
creating them.
So we created something different.
yes.
And if I just use that example with my gorgeous hairdresser, I've been seeing her for 15 years, like she's a friend. If she wanted to make a more sustained change
Yes.
Yeah.
with that, you know, there's a number of things that we would do at that create stage, but really creating a very good vision in her mind about what it felt like, what it sounded like. What it looked like, you know, if did it everything, were there words associated,
yeah.
and then to take it into action. So that little strategy, if that just sat there and she said, oh, well, that was a fun thing to do, but actually take it into action. And I guess in a coaching sense, it'd be like, well, here's something you can do. Give it a go. See what happens. Come back the next week and see how that went. Now, you've got to take some action. Like if you just sort of sit there and visualise and say affirmations, it's not actually not going to happen.
No.
That's not
it.
going to shift your body.
I love your 1 to 10 measurement. I love the gauge.
Yeah.
She started at a 9.
Yeah.
And when she'd finished, obviously, it
I
was
agree,
for that
Di. I
moment.
think that's a really good thing.
It's,
I've never
it's
sort of thought
logical.
of that with the, it is,
Yeah.
it's good. It's like if
Yeah.
you're sick in the hospital, don't they sort of say, how's your
Yeah.
pain?
They do.
It's true.
They do
And
say that.
So I
Yeah.
think it's a great sort of way there.
I
And I think
agree.
the other thing too
Yeah.
with the coaching and stuff too,
It's
it's
a way of
also
checking in too.
having accountability. So I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
thinking for listeners, and we always we want deadlines for things or get this done. I think it's really good that you've got somebody who you can tap in who's going to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
things.
And I think with a lot of things around making changes or adjustments in our own life to become better, more successful, whatever goal people have in their life, we generally know how to do it. And if we don't, like seriously, Google it. It's not that hard. Coaches don't have secrets to the how.
No.
They support people in making those changes in action habits. But the other thing that coaches do is coaches make it happen faster and easier.
Right.
Than
trying to get
Who are
yourself.
you
Than
using as
doing
an
it, than
example
doing it by
of-
yourself. And look, I'm going to go out on a limb here
Yeah.
and say than by other more traditional means of
Counselling.
counselling, psychology.
And that was one of my
And-
questions, like
yeah,
counselling
please ask
versus
it.
coaching.
Yeah, thank
because
you.
a lot of people, I mean, I believe, because I studied both 400 years ago.
Yes.
But I believe that
401.
I believe the lines are blurred at times.
They can be.
With both.
Yep.
That's a fact. But just for the listener going, well, why would I go to a coach? Why would I go to a counsellor? Can
It's
you identify that?
Thank you for asking that question.
It's a good question.
It's an excellent question to ask, and it's an
From the
excellent.
principal.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
She might get a gold star.
I'd love that. I
A
used to
little
love a
stab,
gold
you know, like
star.
I like it.
exactly.
Yeah.
I used to
I
like
like
getting
a gold
stab
star.
I
with
used
the
to love
smiley
it.
face on
And
my
I used to show
hand.
everyone like a
I
real
know.
show off. Sorry, Leanne.
That's right. We digress.
We become little kids.
We
You will be a
digress.
school principal. Yeah.
Get excited.
So there is a place for all
Basically,
of these
just
things.
basically, yeah.
So it's not about one or the other. You know, I love the word "and." There's a lot of room for "and" in the world. So psychologists and counsellors traditionally spend a lot of time looking at what's gone on in the past and digging around in that space.
Yeah.
To try and understand it and unpack it, and
get it.
and you know, look, I've been there. I've spent thousands of dollars, thousands of hours.
I think a lot of people have. I think it's a
Yeah.
key. We've spoken to a lot of psychologists
It's
as
the
well
greatest
Yeah.
gift you can give
to
yourself.
do that, because
Yeah.
you can learn
Yeah.
from your traumas of the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I know from personal experience is that coaching can get you there faster and quicker.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that, now it may not get there for everybody faster and quicker, but faster and quicker also means cheaper. Okay, it also means less drama and less sort of living in the
But might I
So the
interject there,
reason-
Leanne, if you're a coach and you detect a client is sitting more in that trauma as you try and make it quicker, as you put it, with
Yep.
the coaching, do you not then go, look, maybe you
course.
should get some counselling?
Yes.
I actually don't know.
100%.
Right, okay.
And in fact, I
Yeah.
think it's like any
That
profession.
surfaces.
Stick within the boundaries of your profession.
Got it.
And
That's great.
there are people.
Horses for courses or courses for horses? or
Yeah.
whatever.
She's on fire today.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
You know,
Woo!
and can I just say, with you know, as a school
Hey.
principal and as a teacher, the amount of times I get horrified
Yeah.
when I hear stories of people telling me that teachers told them that their children had ADHD. It's not a teacher's role to diagnose. Our role is to teach. Do we know a little bit about it? Yeah, of course we do.
That's where Leanne does have this sort of like
Yeah.
life experience.
So staying in your lane
Yeah.
is really, really important, and understanding how we all work together in terms of helping people.
See, that's answered
And I
it.
think
That's
the thing, and that's what
fair.
I feel. And I can say from personal experience, and I was saying to you just before when I signed up,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think it was written in the fine print, but I expected to. I've been on been on 30, 40 years of personal growth.
Yes.
And I'm very into it. I
Good
certainly
girl.
didn't think I was fixed or anything like that.
We're a
However,
work in
We're
progress
all
till
still
we
alive.
die.
the last 12 months since I signed up for this, my personal development growth has gone exponentially
See,
through
isn't that
the roof.
amazing?
And
How
And
many
you
people
notice
do
that.
these courses and they have a personal experience like I did when I was doing
Everyone.
counselling?
Everyone
It's
that I
actually
learned from.
fascinating.
We're
Yeah.
even saying when we're doing the podcast,
Yes.
the amount of books that
Oh.
we're reading, the amount of things that we're doing is just sort of like next level, that
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
grown so much
So
as well.
true.
And we're-
Absolutely.
isn't it? It's just-
Yeah, and Nicola-
We're
Wonderful.
entertaining at a dinner party these days. Do you think,
Yeah.
That's
Nicola?
right. Dinner party for 6.
And Nicola,
And what book did you just read, Nicola?
but I want to mention a
Come with a
particular.
handsome man.
Yeah, but I want to particularly mention somebody, and
Yes.
you met them.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Leanne.
you met them
Yes.
during one of my master classes.
Yes.
And
Oh.
it was one of my coaching friends. And that coaching friend is the same age as I am and is
Young.
currently transitioning from male to female.
Wow.
And at that class was the first time ever that Tara turned up.
Oh, how interesting.
I get goosebumps.
Wow, how
even-
fascinating.
and that person's one of my coaching friends. The journey that person is going through, like I'm just sitting there going,
Wow.
holy moly,
Yeah.
this is just so
Remarkable.
privileged to look at. But I also felt equally privileged that they felt trusting
Yes.
enough to come into that
and
space.
the strength
That's
and the
right.
courage.
And it was such a great group. That
It
group.
really
that
was.
group was such a great
Say
group.
that I did one of Leanne's masterclasses, and I think, we'll get Leanne shortly just to talk about the giveaway, which is generously giving as well. But I have to say, it really was incredible. Some things I got out of it was also connecting with other people, hearing some of their stories as well. You could say as little as you wanted, as much as you wanted. And it's
Can I ask, was that online or was that actually
online.
physical?
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
right.
online. So I
Got
think
it.
this is how it
So it's
goes,
easy,
Leanne.
really, for
So it's
anyone
really easy. You
listening,
feel
yeah.
connected. And in that time, when I actually finished that, I actually, when you're saying with personal development, it was just sort of like that injection of then going, wow, things I kind of, some of them I knew before, but I needed a refresh with it.
A
and it was
reset.
A reset. And Leanne is a great storyteller. And can you just quickly tell the shiny shoes story, which I think you might be wearing some
She
shiny
is.
shoes.
I'll tell it very quickly. So the story is I had this pair of sparkly shoes I'd bought for a particular occasion However, I went through a stage not that long ago, and I just felt like I was being squeezed into a little box, and I felt like I didn't feel seen. I didn't feel heard in a particular context. Like if I ever had to go to this place, I used to feel physically ill. And when I would go there, I would find the furthest most corner that I could just duck in, do what I needed to do, and duck out again.
Mm.
And that's, you might have figured out that's not me.
No.
But there was a particular person who, that was what I felt, that they weren't interested in looking or anything. So one day, as I was getting ready to go to this place, I saw these sparkly shoes that I'd bought. They're lime green sparkly shoes. And I thought, I'm going to wear those shoes today because, you know what, they're just a bit of fun. And that might just help lift my mood when I go to this place. So I did. And of course, everybody noticed because it's not a sparkly shoes sort of place. And as people would say, whoa, great shoes, Leanne, you know, I felt seen. I felt seen and I felt happy, and it lifted my own vibrations and my own mood. And you know what? When I went home, I thought, I am a big, bright, sparkly personality. And I love that about myself.
Yeah.
And
That's a metaphor for the new Leanne, really.
That's right.
It's wonderful.
And so,
I love this story.
I know, isn't it?
so
It's
when I wear
wonderful.
my sparkly shoes, it reminds me to stand in my own glitter with great pride. But it goes further now because I've extended it, and it says, if anybody happens to get caught in my glitter as it's sprinkling out beyond me and they don't appreciate it, well, they can just dust it off.
What other people
It's
think
pretty
of
hard.
me is their business.
Yeah, but you know what?
Bravo.
I was so worried that this person hated my glitter. I kept trying to be small and small and small and small and get less sparkly and very beige and very small and ordinary. And it affected me physically, it affected me mentally, it affected me. So now I wear them for fun. I wear them for fun because I rarely need the reminder. But the metaphor I love. And I found that it resonates
You know,
with
everything in
people.
life is
Everyone-
timing.
everyone
This
listening.
course obviously was amazing timing for
And
you.
I think for our listeners
in
hearing
so
things
many
like that, there could be
ways.
someone at work who you feel's giving you a hard time, and so you have to sort of don't shine your light. Whereas it just those things like that, I think that it's just wonderful, Leanne.
Just
Yeah.
be
This
the
is
best
great.
version of yourself that you can be,
Well, that's
you know,
right.
without worrying about everyone else.
Yeah.
You know,
And, you know, if-
someone once said that to me, and I've never forgotten it. And
Yeah.
it's just so simple. It's like, forget about all of that out there. Just be the
Yeah.
best that you can be.
And as Nicola was talking about that masterclass, it reminded me that one of those people there, not only did we have the person who is transitioning, but we also had a clinical psychologist in that room who came along, and in fact she commented at the end of how much she got out of that in terms of it helped her look forward. And that's the secret of coaching. It's
Forever
future
growing.
focused.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Focus.
ignore the stuff. There's strategies to be able to deal with that emotion so that it actually doesn't exist anymore. Because the
Until
emotion...
the next one arises and you
So
know
we've
how
got,
to deal
we've
with
got
it.
so
Yeah.
many of
Yeah.
our people
Yeah.
here. We're all about growth. We're all about
We
students
are.
of life. We're all about self-development.
We
And that
are.
seems to be a real nugget with our like
So
the theme
true.
of Over the Back Fence.
Absolutely.
We're community.
Absolutely.
Where,
It's
you know,
connection.
it really is this connection.
Yeah.
So can you, this is really exclusive
Yeah.
for our listeners, and we're really excited, and we're excited for you. So values like
Yep.
just under $1,000,
Fabulous.
which is brilliant and
Gosh.
very generous. So tell us what the listener can get.
The giveaway is one free place in the Motivation and Manifestation Kickstart program.
Love it.
So we can kickstart
So
some
by the end of the
things.
year,
I'm loving
yes.
Kickstart.
Yeah, and it can be a small thing and we can just give it a good kick along. You know, we've all said,
Who needs a kick along back fences?
well, we all
Right
do.
in.
85% of people don't finish off their New Year's resolutions and it doesn't happen.
Go fall back to old
And
habits.
then you don't
That's
have
so
to
true.
wait till the
Yes,
1st
yeah.
of January.
Yes, yeah.
Kickstart that now.
Yeah.
What it includes is one discovery call. That's a one-on-one call
Oh,
with
that's
me,
great.
just
That
to
I
see
didn't
whether
know.
it's the right,
good.
Personal.
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
see whether you're the right
Great.
fit.
Yep.
If
Yes,
you, and
which
and
is-
I'm the right fit for you. because we do want to have that aligned energy that we talk about. Then there are 3 group sessions. So that'll be about an
Bit
hour.
like what I did as well.
Online.
And you loved it. Nicol loved it.
I highly recommend it.
So in between there's some accountability checkups, and really that's
Very
just
smart.
checking in. It's not my job to
Principal's
do
not
it
going to
for
get
you.
detention, are you?
No. And then
When do you get to the gold star?
well, you give yourself the gold star, because the gold
Very
star.
good. That was a great comeback.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the gold
Impressive.
star
I'll
is
buy a packet.
what does success look like? So the CAB, Create, Act, Become, what are you going to become?
Mm.
There's your 3 sessions: Create, Act, Become.
Get a
And
cab.
Get some.
Yeah.
Get a cab. That's it. Get a cab.
Catch a
Kickstart
cab.
it. And your workbook will include things to help you reflect or
When
models.
I did your thing, I was writing some things down. And
That's
that was
right.
really
No,
for myself.
look, to be honest,
Plus
Nicola
action
did it,
plans
and I
and
do
so
remember Nicola saying
Yes.
quite a few times how it affected her.
Yeah.
Well, we're really
Yeah.
excited about this. I can say
Yeah.
firsthand, I've done one of the master
She
classes.
has.
I've done another class with you, and I would say out of the 10 there, I'm giving it a 10.
Oh, thank you, Nicola.
Don't we love a giveaway prize?
I always love giveaway prizes. I'm such a dag like that.
I love
I
it.
enter a lot of stuff like that.
I mean, hey, you've got to be in it to win it, don't
Thank you.
And I think
Exactly.
everyone here, listeners, just jump in, and it's actually called Jumpstart Your Fierce Heart.
Look, it's a great time of the year, actually. If you're at a place in your life right now
know.
where you're standing still or your mouse on the wheel
So it's-
material,
exactly.
perfect timing.
And you know what, Di? The value
Simple
of this,
to enter. What do they do,
you
Nicola?
know, so it's worth over $1,000
I
for
know,
this too.
I
So
agree.
for that one, so it's really simple. What you need to do
So
for
you
this
follow
one is just
Over the Back Fence.
follow us, and then
and Fierce Hearts on Instagram.
Yep, just-
Easy peasy.
tag one other person.
Yep.
You know,
And all we want from you is just tell us what positive change you'd like to make in your life in the next 3 months. So tell us what positive change you'd like to make in your life in the next 3 months. Very easy. And just
it's just great.
Yeah,
You know, then you get the chance to be part of Leanne's Fierce Hearts Masterclass. Wow. You know, be in it to win
it's
it.
good timing too.
Great
You know
timing.
why? Just before the new year.
That's right. You've got
Brilliant.
all those
Start
tools.
it.
I've
Yep.
done it. Highly
Yep.
recommend.
Start 2025 with a fresh approach.
I just want to know, we started off our little chat, so I just want to do the circle there about, we were saying Leanne from
Circle
100
of
first dates. If you
life.
hadn't listened to it, but Leanne ended up after her 100th date, met her husband and married Richard, and they've been married for how long now? For quite a long time. Happy marriage.
She had to think
15
about
years.
it.
We've been
But,
together 20 years.
what do
We've
you
been
think?
married 15.
Oh, congratulations.
Beautiful.
And just quickly with the thing that with dating, we're just sort of saying how the trend's going off a
Yes.
lot now, apart from sort of like travel
Yes.
dating there. What do you think of the way of dinner parties coming back? Or are you a fan of that, Leanne?
Yeah, and I
Was your
had
first
heard
hand?
that statistic.
Oh, really?
I had heard it, and I think
People's fingers are getting
showing
sore
up in
from
my
swiping.
Instagram, people.
Oh, Sarah,
Really?
what you
Tell
I'm
me.
getting sponsored posts telling me to go to like dinner with people that I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know
so
what I'm
happening.
talking about, but Instagram thinks I want to go on these group dates.
Well, Sarah,
What,
that's
in
the
restaurants, like set up
Yeah,
sort of
in
sexy
restaurants.
Sam
And-
is single.
So how does
Maybe
it
that's
work,
not
Sarah?
meta. Maybe that's not meta. Maybe that's the
Wow.
universe.
Some of them are actually, the way that they're marketing them, which is really interesting, is they're not marketing them as dating. They're just marketing them as come and meet 6 people you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's not even, it's
think
not
that's
being
cool.
pushed as like you have to meet someone. It might just be a new friend or I forget what the companies are called, but I'm getting lots of them showing up in the last 2 weeks.
Well,
in
you're
my
Interesting.
Instagram.
Sam's demand.
It's gonna be
And you're-
fascinating.
I think there's nothing like
Something
face
came
to
up in my
face.
feed
That's
too.
what I'm going to
Yeah.
say.
There you
I
go.
don't think there's
You know?
anything like face to face. You know, all the
Of
texting, all
course.
the, when I
It's
met
too
Richard, it
swipey.
was,
Yes,
but you need the 3 dimensions. And I'm going to say, link it back to what I was talking about before. You need the full, how does it feel? What does it look like? What does it sound like? You need all of the senses alert. And I think texting doesn't actually do that. What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're
I mean,
human.
And
Yeah.
it's a bit too hard of this whole thing with ghosting and just like so much
Oh, you
variety.
want a
that-
sense.
Well,
there's nothing wrong with having that as one avenue, but I think, when you put all your eggs in that basket,
Yeah.
really, I think it's kind of nice.
And
now
it's a
going back
nice dinner,
face-to-face.
whether it works out or not. You have a nice meal, have a
so
chat.
watch this space.
yeah.
That's exactly what I used to say. And I think, I don't know if I said it last time. I used to come home from my dates and go, was it worth getting out of my jammies for?
Love that.
and I am going to say more often than not, the answer was yes, not because I felt that I was in love or anything like that, but just because it was a really pleasant night out.
You see,
Up
at the end of the
what's-
day, stop
what's
judging
wrong?
everyone. If
What's
you get
wrong
the
with a
opportunity,
pleasant night out?
try, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
like there's
I'm
another
a
avenue,
fan
I
of that. I've
guess.
had people sort of
Yeah.
say, look, just sort of meet sort of a friend just as an adult there for
Yeah.
dinner, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I tell you what, next date I'm going to go and I'm going to be wearing my sparkly shoes.
Oh,
I have 3 new pairs. Nicola, I
it's a
can
great
lend
story.
you.
It's a great,
I can
you
rent
get
them
an
out.
epiphany. Watch out. Here
Okay,
she
just
comes.
a quick little thing.
Yeah.
I think it's, if you could share a back fence with anybody, who would it be, Leanne? We asked you a year and a
I
half
know.
ago,
Yeah,
but
I'll
things
be
can
dying to
change.
hear.
Yeah, last time I said Brené Brown, and
Yes,
like
I know,
she's
we
still
love
up
her.
Who have we
there.
moved on to?
Yeah, let me. Well, I'm going to say.
Jimmy
I'm-
Choo?
Oh, that was a good one.
Actually,
Too
yes.
expensive.
But if
Be
I shared a
sponsored
back
by
fence, I
Watches.
might get a bit of a discount.
Yes.
So yeah, that'd be sort of cute. You know, I think I'm going to say this. Hopefully doesn't sound creepy, and apologies to my children, my 3 children, if it does sound creepy. But I would love to share a back fence with them.
With them.
Yeah.
That's not creepy. That's
No,
lovely.
It's family.
Because they are the most extraordinary human beings who have taught me more than I could have possibly taught myself.
All heart,
And,
Leanne.
they're all adults now.
got a fierce
And
heart.
Ooh,
I have got a fierce heart, as do they.
yes.
And, sometimes the fierce heart, we've seen it come out because of protectionism, but I've also seen it and have the pleasure of being on the receiving end. That time when you see your adult children who are just so happy. I have no words, and I'm someone who always has the words. I have no words to describe that. Absolute joy. It just brings tears to my eyes. And I don't even think I know what that emotion's called.
That's magnificent.
I don't-
Beautiful. That's
so we're
beautiful.
running out of time
So
as
what's
usual.
you did the lucky
That
last
was,
question.
That was very
Yeah.
Thank
beautiful.
you for that.
Leslie.
And that's really
And I think your
heartfelt.
children will feel that
They're
deeply
very
in their
proud
heart.
They do.
If you had the opportunity of meeting your 20-year-old self,
Yeah.
1 year on, have you got anything to say to her?
Buy a pair of sparkly shoes
Ah.
now.
That's great.
Well, listeners, on
What a
that
great
note,
way
we're
to
going to wrap
finish
it
up.
up. This is just wonderful.
Well done.
Share this episode with friends. Please write in. We want to
Yeah.
hear your responses and let us know. It's an exclusive offer to you. We're
Yeah.
really thrilled.
You're online,
and
right?
Bringing
Fierce
it
Heart.
as
So
well.
look it up.
So thank you for
Yeah,
listening.
we'll have it in our
Don't
notes
forget to
anyway.
rate and review. And now, how many stars for Sparkling Shoes, Leanne?
God,
Heart so
you've really
fierce.
throwing me on the spot there.
Hearts. You can make them hearts rather than stars.
I just think 10 out of 10.
Oh,
Because
there
that's
you
you,
go.
Leanne. You
Yeah.
are. You
Well,
can-
thank you
I've
I've never
again.
seen you look better, by the way.
yes,
Really,
gorgeous.
you're doing something right. See,
Good energy, all connections,
Yeah.
all
We bring out
energy.
the
It's
best in
back
each
fence
other.
energy.
100%.
Well, ciao, ciao. Thanks for
Ciao,
listening.
guys.
Bye.